sends my boy flying, and he says, Shakky, you know, I apologize. He's sorry. He's like, hey, I'm here for you. Oh yeah, God Valley is lit. Lit. This is One Piece chapter 1161. We gotta talk about it. I do think some people need to hold their expectations of God Valley just a little bit. I think people need to realize God Valley, it's nothing more than a flashback. Is certain scenes going to get fleshed out? Yeah, totally. They're king of that. They love doing with different fights and just adding some stuff in there. I know that's going to happen whenever this flashback gets animated. But also, we're not going to get every single minute detail of who fought who, and oh, some people didn't have like such grand roles at God Valley, because their flashbacks are meant to expedite and fill in the gaps of different things. They're not necessarily meant to be the full-blown story, because if that's the case, we wouldn't be following Luffy and the Straw Hats. We'd be following the Rocks, Roger Pirates, and everybody else that was at God Valley. But we know in the last chapter, everyone showed up, all the different stars, whether it was the Rocks, Pirates, Roger, you had Garp, you had the Holy Knights, everyone was here, and we were trying to figure out who's going to be fighting whom, what's going to happen at God Valley. Well, you got Roger looking for Shakky, Garp looking for Roger, you have Zebek, he's looking for his wife, I believe her name is Eris, as well as looking for Teach, and then we know Dragon, he was in charge of saving Shanks and Shamrock, and I wondered, I was like, okay, how the fluff did Shamrock get separated from Shanks? How did this happen, and what did Dragon do? Well, it wasn't something that Dragon did, it was something a Holy Knight did. Because while Dragon was trying to escape with the twins, all of a sudden a Holy Knight named Mayfie, and I'm not gonna hold you, I thought she was a dude, but she's not. She ended up hitting Dragon with an attack, kind of looked like a pacifist laser. I don't know, I feel like half characters in One Piece can shoot lasers from their mouths, from their eyeballs. Are we really shocked at this point? And this was a devastating wound to Dragon. He ended up dropping Shamrock, who then Mayfie ended up picking up, and it's like, hey, I got one of the kids. They're obviously ignorant to the fact that there was two of them, because Shanks ended up staying hidden. Now, I understand that this is a young Dragon, but young Dragon, and I believe at this point he was 17, this Dragon stinks. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, the Dragon that we are expecting now, and don't get it wrong, I respect him for everything that he's doing, and I love that for him, because, you know, he's trying to do the right thing. But if you're comparing him to what Garp looks like, what Luffy looked like, this Dragon low-key kind of cheeks. He is kind of cheese, because all of a sudden Mayfie gets cut in half and there's trees that scattered everywhere, and this is because Whitebeard ended up unleashing an attack. You got the two arguing, Big Mom and Whitebeard's like, yo, were you trying to attack me? I could have died. You guys want to go? And just look at the size of them. Now Dragon is a big dude. Dragon is big, but Whitebeard and Big Mom, they are giants compared to him. But still, I want to show Dragon love, because we respect him for what he believes in, what he stands for, what he turns into, and the fact that he is still trying to save Shanks and Shamrock here. But I would just expect it a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. What I love about God Valley is seeing all these strong people in action, seeing people that were considered legends. We get to see them fully fight in their prime. You got Shiki, Kaido, Whitebeard, and Big Mom. You got all these pirates arriving. They end up looking there like, yo, who the fuck are these small fry? Who are these guys? And they end up attacking. Got a beautiful panel seeing these strong individuals just send these characters flying. It reminds me so much of the Straw Hats, specifically the Monster Trio. Whenever they attack someone, it's just a dope panel. Shanks is knocked unconscious because of the blast with all this chaos. Matthew's like, hey, the intruder, I guess he died somewhere. When in actuality, we know what happened. Dragon ended up taking Shanks, and then he stored him in the treasure chest and put him on Roger's ship, or at the very least that Roger ended up stealing the treasure that they didn't know that Shanks was in. Now this scene right here is very controversial, because you have Garp. We understand Garp is top three in the series, at least at this point, and so he is charging up a Conqueror's Code attack, which is cool. You got Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard here. But one thing I don't like, and I get it, some people are going to say the wording of what Big Mom is saying. She said run. A fight with him will drag on too long, which is true. But I believe in Marineford, they said that Whitebeard never suffered a wound on his back from running away. I think some people may interpret that as Whitebeard never ran away. That's not what I see it as, but still, if you're gonna have that statement, making Whitebeard run away from someone, and I understand, I 100% understand that person's not an ordinary individual, it's motherfucking Garp, but still, I don't really like it. But if you guys enjoy regular One Piece content like this, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. Garp might be top 1. Garp might be top 1. I know I got him in my top 3. He might be number 1 because Big Mom, she launched a massive attack. Combined Zeus and Prometheus was like, Garp be gone. Garp be gone, get the fluff out of here. And that attack was humongous. And you know what Garp said? He ate that for breakfast. He said this isn't even hot enough to cook a prime rib. And he out here smiling. Got the smoke coming up off him. Took that blast like a G. Low-key, he looks like Joy Boy Luffy here. Garp is a sicko. And he was a problem in this era for sure. The Rocks Pirates, they're still going, doing their thing. One thing that I do want to mention, you look at Captain John, it looks like he has a metal arm, or at least a larger metal arm. I've seen some people speculate that maybe Captain John had kids Devil Fruit in the past. Very possible, very possible. But this part of the chapter I love because of what it did for Rayleigh's character, as well as Sommers. It made me hate him more as a villain because we know Shakky, she is the grand prize in the hunting competition. More specifically, regardless of whoever wins, it was already set in stone that she was going to be with Garling. And so Sommers is like, well, let me have my motherfucking fun, because if you're already going to be with Garling, I need to have some way to entertain myself. And so he's like, I'm gonna beat you up and I'm going to kill you, so that way, well, with all the people that are here trying to save you, it's going to be all for nothing. And so he ends up slapping Shakky because number one, she still knows her worth, and she's sitting up in here knows that she's the baddest bee and she's all this, all that, in a bag of chips. So Sommers slaps her to try to degrade her, try to lower her self-confidence, self-esteem. And I don't condone it or anything like that, but as a villain, he's doing a pretty good job of it. Then when Shakky tried to fight back, tried to spin the block, was like, I'm gonna kick him. Yeah, it hurt, but well, we know Sommers is immortal. So as I mentioned, he is going to go out of his way so that he can torture Shakky, because this is the only form of excitement that he's gonna get out of all of this. Every pirate is scrambling. They're trying their best. They're like, where the heck is Shakky? Where is Shakky? All of a sudden, Whitebeard, he ties down Roger. So Roger and Whitebeard, they clash first of many. Roger, he's like, hey, I'm tied up right now. I'll leave Shakky to you. You got Rayleigh coming out the cut. Silver's Rayleigh. Y'all already know. The Zoro of the Roger Pirates. Y'all already know Rayleigh finna have a savage moment right here. Because Shakky's already at her wits' end. She's a strong woman. She is a strong and powerful woman. Do not get it twisted. But she's tied up and there's not really much that she can do. And so Sommers is sitting up in here torturing her. Eventually she's gonna break, and then all of a sudden Rayleigh pulls up like the knight in shining armor that he is. He hits Sommers with a transcendent Hygen Crescent, which translates into Red Spider Lily, sends my boy flying, and he says, Shakky, I apologize. He's sorry. He's like, hey, I'm here for you. Guess what? Motherfluffin' Rayleigh put the S on his chest. Superman was like, make me yours? Bet. Challenge accepted. Because after this, ain't no one, I mean, she was already in love with him, but there ain't nobody that Shakky's gonna go for other than Rayleigh, because he extended out his hand to her. Shakky out here blushing, crying, just excited to see this man Rayleigh. She goes weak, falls into his arms, talks about how scared he was. They have this lovey-dovey moment. They out here, they getting ready to, they were probably getting ready to kiss, all this, all that. And then all of a sudden you got Roger and Gabon. They're like his wingman, of course, but obviously it's a baddie. So they mad they didn't get one. So they're like, hey, save it for later, you dog. You already got the girl. You don't got to flex on us no more. So they've officially got Shakky, the Roger Pirates, and they're grabbing the treasure and they're gonna make a run for it. And I assume with them grabbing the treasure, like I said earlier, that's how Shanks is gonna find a way on the crew. I want to see Shakky. I know she's gonna be saved. I wonder how it's gonna happen. In terms of, is she going to go with the Roger Pirates, going to go back to Hachinosu? How's all that going to work? As well as God Valley, the flashback, it's not over. Zebek still has to save Teach, still has to save his wife. Gotta see him die as well, or at least go against Roger and Whitebeard, because they definitely talked about that a little bit. So I'm excited. I am excited for the rest of the God Valley flashback. If I was a betting person, I'd say it probably wouldn't be more than a few more chapters, probably around like 4 or 5, but hey, I'm here for it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. And don't forget to unleash your potential.